Um, you can't pay too much attention to other people because other people, especially in Hollywood, they dump their insecurities on you. They're like, tell me I'm too short to do a movie. I've done like 17 dance films. I've done stunts. I've done choreography. I've produced. I've done so much, but they told me I was too short and I was too Latin. Yes. But you think about that. Think about everything I had to pursue. And then when someone asks you from year to year, how did you do it? What would you tell someone? I'm like, yo, keep doing you because that very next trend, you could be the one starting it.
This is indeed the E-Man, chilling like a villain, singing like Bob Dylan, keep it on the low with some double stuffed Oreos, and I am back, and I have a very, very cool special guest, man. My guest is a B-boy standing in his B-boy stand. He's been in a ton of movies. Honey, he's been in You Got Served, he's been in Stomp the Yard, he's been in Battle of the Year, man, and he is just incredibly talented, man. He's a dancer, choreographer. I want to welcome to my show Ivan Flips Velez. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Let's go. Thank you for having me. We out here.
Definitely. So right now you're in Los Angeles, right?
Yes, LA.
Definitely, man.
LA,
Cool.
LA. I'm originally from the East Coast, so I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. So I'm a Caribbean island boy. But yeah, we moved to Florida, and then from Florida, my next stop was New York, and then from New York, I came to LA. Yeah.
Interesting,
Yeah.
man. Like I'm so happy, I'm so psyched that you're on the show, man, because like I've
Oh,
watched You Got Served so many times, man, and it's like I'm always amazed by the things that you were able to do. If people ever watch You Got Served, like he shows up right at the part where there's like this really cool boxing type of montage, and like that's when you first see Flips, and like he does all of these incredible moves, man. I want to give you so many props, man. There's one move that you do that I think is really cool, like I think in the semifinals, where you do this thing like where everybody's chilling and then you just like kick them to the ground, and then you do a
mhm.
flip, and then you do
Yeah.
this move like this, and
This, right?
that move reminds me of the Punisher, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
or the Phantom Prowler from Nightmare on Elm
Yeah.
Street 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
man, super talented, man. So
Thank
let's
you.
do what everybody. Every hero has an origin story. So I wanted to know, how did you get started in breaking, and
Okay.
like what was the thing that really set you off to where you were like, okay, this is it. I got to do this. This is something that's meant for me.
So in high school, they have a talent show at the end of the year every year, and you could basically do any piece. You could do a choreography piece, you could do a film piece, you could do anything. So my friend, my best friend, who's also my best man in my wedding, who's also the guy who helped me start Skill Methods, the crew that's been around for 30 years. His name is Abstract. He was a part of that group, and he saw me tumbling, doing tumbling passes. I would do it at pep rallies, basketball shows, basketball games, football games, baseball. In the baseball field, I would tumble out to shortstop or third base. I played short and third base. And basically, I think he saw something in the way that I was flipping that it would easily translate to breaking because they were doing the movie called Beat Street. They were like reenacting the Roxy scene. You remember the red team versus the blue team and the
Yes.
Roxy and Beat Street? They were redoing that, and I think everybody was just like squatting up, you know. So Richie was like, "Yo, you want to do the talent show with us?" And I'm like, "What would I do in the talent show?" He's like, "Yo, you got crazy flips. Like you just tumble across. When we start the battle, just tumble across, and people will spread out." So he had like a vision for how he can insert my flips. But during rehearsals, we just started practicing. It was like, how many moves can you learn from this movie before the talent show? And man, we went in. We learned like the top rock. We learned some footwork. We learned some freezes. We started going into windmills. So we would wear our knee pads on our shoulders. We would transfer our knee pads when we didn't need them for footwork. we transfer them to our shoulders underneath our jackets and zip our jackets up. So we had like shoulder pads to practice
Wow.
windmills because we would get so many bruises. And we ended up just killing, like, we were like, the crowd was like, when we redid Beat Street, because you know how it starts at like break, and people were coming out. We were coming from all over the auditorium, you know, like a battle. Like if you were on a street, we were coming from all angles, and I start break dancing, oh, and I just start tumbling, revenge. Oh, it was so dope. That's what started the journey of in 1995 of Flips and Abstract creating like the Skill Methods crew, just out of the necessity of wanting to win a talent show, wanting to look cool, wanting to look fly in front of the girls. You know what I mean? Like wanting to
Yeah.
just have props and own it. So we had the gear, we had the red versus the blue, we had our Adidas, our shell toes, our like everything. We had everything. It was like reenacting it. But that movie dropped in 84 and it was 95. So it was like more than a decade later, which is crazy. And then you fast forward to 2004, exactly 20 years to the date that Beat Street was dropped. We dropped You Got Served. So it was like full circle for me. It was like, Beat Street started. A decade later, I start breaking. A decade later, You Got Served drops, which is insane. And I'm in it, and it is the blue team, you know. So I'm like, oh my god, this is nuts.
It
Do it for the
really
little
is.
Saint.
For sure, Little Saint.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
really curious on your influences because, like, because of your tumbling skills. Now,
Hmm.
me growing up, like, I had no interest in gymnastics or anything like that until there's this group from Motown called the Boys, and the Boys had a song called "Down My Heart," and they will always implement all of these gymnastic moves in their dancing, and I was just blown away by their style and what they were able to do. Did they have an influence on anything that you did, or was it just
The
somebody else?
Well, I'm gonna give you the real tea. So I looked up to Bruce Lee,
Mm,
and I looked up to gymnastics, and the person at that time that was kind of influencing gymnastics in a different way was Kirk Thomas, and he did the flares, right? The Kirk Thomas
right.
flares. Dude, long and behold, there was a young female talent in Florida at the time when my parents moved out. And I'm gonna drop her name, and if anyone looks her up, they're gonna know who she is. Dominique Moceanu from the Olympics, Team
Oh yeah.
USA. So in Omar K. Lightfoot Center, where I was training, she came. I think she came from either Texas. She came from somewhere. I don't know if it was her country or she came from Texas and then moved back, but she was training at the Omar K. Lightfoot Center in Tampa, Florida, and that's where I was training. So I got influenced by a gold medal gymnast tumbling right in front of me. That I think that's what made me learn quickly was I think she just, when someone has that X factor, she just had it. She was so young, so talented,
Yeah.
agile, fluid, explosive. So she was agile and explosive, which is rare. And she was also like tiny, like me. So I was short at the time. And yeah, so she inspired me. Dominique Moceanu inspired me, like face to face, hands on. And the one thing I do remember is I tried to battle her tumbling, and she destroyed me. Like I think I had nightmares that night. Yeah, because what ends up happening is at the end of a session, you can go either way. At the end of a session, right, you have intermediate, beginner, intermediate, and advanced in different parts of the gym. But when they open up the gym at the end, you can get in your line based on if you're intermediate, advanced, or beginner, and you can take tumbling passes. So I would wait for her. If she was second or third, I would be second or third just to like go after her to try. And yeah, she just, like, every single round, she was like above and beyond anything I had ever seen at the time. But because of the b-boy in me,
Mm-hmm.
she inspired me in a way where she would never comprehend, you know? And I
Right.
got beat by a girl, you know what I mean? So in school, we're like, ah, Flips is whack. Like, he got beat by a girl, and she was younger than me. So shout outs to Dominique Moceanu. You inspired me. 30 years later, I'm still flipping. The prayer flip came from a different inspiration. It was in breaking, you try to turn a mistake into a move before someone notices you messed up.
Yeah.
And I was outside practicing again for a talent show and a battle. It was years later, and when I did my front roll, I was gonna go into a freeze. I went into my front roll, and my feet kind of locked up like in a lotus position. So instead of me being able to do a freeze, I kind of dodged the mistake by doing a complete back handspring because I knew how to flip. And my boy Abstract saw that. He goes, "Yo, bro, you got to keep that. I'll never forget that." He said, "Yo, you got to use that. Nah, you got to use that." I go, "I was just a mistake. I was going to get up to do it again." And the sequence in which it happened, he just found it like so trippy. And he's like, "Nah, bro, you got to keep that. You got to keep that in your arsenal." And there was 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 7, 8 years later, I get the opportunity to put it in a movie because I was running out of moves. Like if you see me freestyle throughout the film,
Yeah.
you don't want to look the same, even though you have trademark moves. So throughout the film, I started like dissecting my moves. I'm like, I already did that in that one scene. I already did this in that one scene. And people can detect like, oh, that's flips. What did he do in this scene? Oh, he did something else. And I never repeated anything. There was like too much pride and ego in it as a b-boy to repeat your moves. So Dave Scott said, "Flips, when you go out, make sure you push them back. Make sure you take them all the way back to their side as they're walking back." I go, "I got you. I'm gonna slide right. I slide right past Kevin Federline and
Oh yeah,
right
yeah.
behind. Yeah, I slide right past Kevin Federline, and then like almost toe to toe with the bad guys, who's Chris Jones and Robert Hoffman, like toe to toe. I'm like right next to him, and then when I go like this, the crew then goes like this, and then I just explode. But that the origin of that one move was 1996, and full circle, that was the Olympics. The Olympics was in '96 in America. I want to say it was Atlanta, right, with Whitney
It was
Houston.
Atlanta. Yep.
Atlanta, yeah. So Dominique Moceanu's competing, and I'm like, I'm trying to show off too. Like, I'm gonna do the prayer flip from '96. So I brought it back, and it became like a cult, iconic film. I had no idea, bro. We had no idea. We thought we were making like a long music video per se, because it was an $8 million budget. It
Right.
was Michael Jackson's Scream cost 7 million, and they shot that in like 2 weeks.
Right.
So we were thinking in like a 3 month, in like a 3 week, 4 week time span of filming, we're doing this really elaborate, long, awesome music video with different acting parts. It came out so dope, like especially the dance sequences, because there were so many talented dancers that
So many.
when it hit the screen, dude, when we went to the Chinese Man Theater for the premiere, all the dancers were invited, so it was just crowded with talent. That roof was gonna explode. The talent in the room, if you see the talent in the movie,
Oh
imagine
yeah.
all of them in one theater. And then as they played the final battle, both crews, because we still knew the choreography, we went down to the front of the theater and battled. So the audience was watching the
Wow.
screen and the miniature mini me's in real life in the theater battling. That was the most epic thing ever. A lot of people don't talk about that, and I'm like, some of the dancers do, but when you bring it back to You Got Served, the movie had so much magic that in the premiere, the final battle happened again, and we hadn't even rehearsed because people were already doing jobs, and they were on tour. B2K was on tour and stuff. So, man, in the theater, we battled it out, even during the credits, because they started playing music through the credits, and you see
Yeah.
your name go up, and then you just go out and do a solo. Like, yo,
Dope.
that's me.
Well, dope, man. Well, since we're getting into You Got Served, man, I
Yeah.
want to say it's so crazy that you say that, because when you listen to the commentary, Chris Stokes even mentions that the lighting is the same kind of lighting he would use for music videos to give it that crushing glow. So
Yeah.
you're right. It does have like a music video feel, which is cool because I think nowadays, especially thinking about something like K-pop Demon Hunters, right, and the success of that. It's the music, it's the amazing animation, but essentially it's the music that drove it to the success where it is right now. The same thing when You Got Served. But man,
Right.
like You
Yeah.
Got Served, man, is just such an iconic film, and there's so many people. I just want to mention a few people, man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
from that movie because there's a lot of amazing people that made that movie special. Of
Oh,
course
Mark.
you had B2K, you got Marcus Houston, you got Tanii McCall, you had
Mm-hmm.
Shane Sparks, Megan Good, Jennifer Freeman, Marty Duke, Chris Jones, Robert Hoffman, Dunock, B-Boy
Do not.
Crumbs, Garland
Yes.
Spencer, Oscar
Yeah.
Orozco, Steve Harvey, Jack A. Harry. Rest in peace to Michael Tafero, Esther
Mm.
Scott, and of course Dave Scott. So I wanted to ask you about those people specifically that did pass away. Do you have any memories that you would like to share of those people? Like I don't know. I know you weren't in the scene with Michael or Esther, but you did work with
Right.
Dave Scott. What are
Yeah.
some memories you would like to share, if
I
any?
oh man. So the first memory I put it on Instagram, and it was going to Crafty and eating all the good stuff. Me and Dave would
Yeah.
speak to Crafty, and like people like the Doritos or the barbecue Fritos. They like the Twizzlers, they like the M&Ms, and we would sneak as soon as they yell cut because we needed energy anyway. We needed like the sugar, and we were young back then, so it didn't matter. We would run. We would just run, or like he'll wink, and he'll go like the Crafty, yeah, Crafty, and we would go, and then people like, where's the Twizzlers? Where are the M&Ms? And we're just laughing. I mean, like little kids eating but laughing because there was no more. But Crafty would obviously refill it. But me and Dave shared this like we were like little rascals in a way. He's this really tall. He's like 6'4". He's
Right.
he's larger than life. He's so funny, has so much charisma, and I'm like 5'6", but I'm the same. I might as well be 6'4" at 5'6" because I'm like loud and obnoxious and silly. I speak in Spanish and in English. It just comes out that way. So that's one of my favorite memories was them yelling cut and us just like racing to Crafty to take all the good stuff. And then that's like a memory that I share because it'll always stay with me because it's something we kept doing. And he would hire me for different movies, separate projects, and every film it was the same thing. It was like the same thing. The wink and the nod was like, "Yo, let's go load up on some junk food." But on set, my favorite memory was him believing in me to pick up the choreography. There was a young lady that was assisting him at the time, Christy Prater, who I work with now. Um, he would like put the choreography on her or put the choreography on the group, and then he would have to leave and choreograph another group because he choreographed a ton of different sequences for all these groups. And I didn't get it right away, and his patience, like, nah, bro, you got this. You're a freestyler, man. It's in you. This is hip hop. Like, you got this. So in the movie, it was the manifestation of him believing in me and like never giving up on me
Yeah.
to learn the choreography. That I couldn't say for every dancer because they were so good. And in California, that's what they focused on. I came from New York. That's what they focused on was choreography, and I was more of like an East Coast freestyle head where I create my own moves, I create my own choreography. I know the sequences I want to do in a battle. No one tells me how to do it or when to do it, and I had to like let go of that ego and learn everything this 6'4" guy from Compton was teaching me. So it was like a huge learning curve, and we only had 3 weeks. So if it wasn't for
Wow.
Christy Prater and Dave Scott believing in me, I wouldn't have been in all those sequences if I didn't pick up the choreo. They would just like pull me in to do like the tricks, and then you wouldn't see me in the film that much, I guess I would say, as well. But yeah, that's a huge memory of mine that is um it's more personal because you don't see it. And also the one behind the scenes of us eating all the junk food after every time they yell cut, that was for me that was like huge. It was the way that we bonded, and I don't know, it's just funny that he's so tall but he's like my bro. So
Definitely.
rest in peace, Dave Scott. I talk about him as he's still alive because all those memories live in me in that way. And every time people ask me to go back and remember him, I could not remember him passing away. you know. And I also I went to his the in loving memory of celebration, but I didn't get to see him, you know, like the his final days, or like when sadly, I don't want to get choked up, but when he passed, I was out of town, so I didn't get to go see him at all, you know, and that really bothered me. So
Yeah.
I feel like there hasn't been closure in the weirdest way, because every time You Got Served pops up, Dave Scott is alive. Like through my memories, he's so still alive in my thought process of even filtering you know, him being gone. So yeah, I always talk about him like he's still here, like he's the homie. So may he rest in peace. We call it RIP, is like Rock in Paradise, you know?
Yes.
But yeah, I want to make sure everybody knows like how fun and funny and silly he was, and how much junk food he would eat. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just so cool, bro. It's cool to have been a part of that, and for him to believe in me that much. So yeah, I'm showing gratitude. I'm super grateful and thankful that he gave me a shot, you know, because you could get fired. People get fired, people get cut all the time. And I'm just like lucky and blessed that I didn't.
Definitely. And you
Right?
know what really amazes me, and like all those people I mentioned, specifically with Garland, I thought, okay, so when the movie came out, I assumed everybody was in the same age range as B2K, and at the time, I think B2K were like teenagers. But
Yes.
there, Garland has been doing this since, I think, since Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, because he was in Baby Bad, along
Mm,
with he was
mm,
along with the boys, like I mentioned, along with Brandon Adams and those people. And I was like,
right.
wow, it's like dancing is truly like the fountain of youth, because I had no idea like these. I'm assuming like everybody's in these movies like they're like teenagers or in their mid 20s, and they weren't.
Yeah.
And we're older, so
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think we shot it in '03, and it came out it came on theaters obviously after months of editing and like, you know, all that other stuff, but movie
Right.
magic. But I was 22 at the time. I was 22 years old. So yeah, B2K was super young. They were like teenagers.
Yeah.
They probably just got their driver's license at that point. They were like 16, 17 years old. They just got cars and whatnot. But I remember being 22, but like a young 22. I remember feeling like I was a part of the You Got Served group, like that age
Right.
range, because I was new to the industry, you know, and you're kind of green at that moment. So, but yeah, Garland and a lot of those guys, Dave Scott, Garland, who else was a bit just a bit more mature. Maybe Brian Freeman, a couple of those guys, they were just like slightly older than us. So,
Well, Crumbs, right?
no,
Crumbs.
I believe Crumbs is my age. He's just been
Oh,
breaking for a long time.
okay.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
amazing.
Crumbs. Yeah, Crumbs is dope. Johnny Counts.
Yes.
Yeah, we went after that. We did Missy tour together. We went on tour with Missy Elliott, and because oh
Wow.
my God, because we had routines. We did like all the routines from You Got Served on Missy's tour. It was awesome. Yeah.
Oh
And
man.
we
What is she?
created our own stuff, but yeah, it was cool to have the arsenal because we had already worked together, and we just had good chemistry, man. And there was like no ego. It was like, yo, you gonna do flares? How many flares are you gonna do? All right, which way are you gonna go? This way? All right. When the beat start, all right, we'll go this way first, and then you're gonna freeze on the 8. All right, well then we'll start on the 1. It was amazing. It was like we knew how to finish each other's sentences because we worked on set for so long for You Got Served. So it was awesome. Crumbs is
How
dope, man. Yeah.
Crumbs is dope, man. How did you
Yeah.
first? How did you get that role and you got served? But also, there's a part in the final battle, and people don't notice this. When you do in the final battle, when you do your flips, you go
Yeah.
from doing a handspring to doing a handspring on your elbows.
Yeah. Elbows. Yeah.
Crazy,
Yeah. I go
crazy, man.
three multiple elbow back handsprings straight to the pop up James Brown split. But then they edit, yeah, they cut, and then I think they missed my next transition, which was awesome, the Blue Thunders. So when I do the James Brown split, from the split I start to do this like this inside out cartwheel.
The
Boom.
cartwheels that you're talking about, I know what you're talking about because it's in the movie. It almost looks like you're doing like a Mardi Gras cartwheel. It's like you're
Yeah.
bending your back. It's really really cool.
Yeah, like I go this way. It's like an inside out cartwheel.
Yes.
Crazy.
How
Yeah.
did you get? How did you get the part and you got served?
All right. So how I got the part of You Got Served is for me, it's like a miracle. There is a young lady named Nicole Neal who was a dancer in the movie Honey in the like the alley scene when we're
Okay.
outside of the club. There's this young African American girl. She's got like a baggy sweat hoodie and a hat. And
Okay.
when I do my moves and I do a freeze, she steps over me and kicks me backwards. Her name is Nicole Neal. So Nicole Neal dances with Dave Scott. She danced with B2K as well in a couple of videos back in the day. So Nicole had a VHS of our rehearsals and stuff, right? Nicole shows it to Dave Scott. So we already shot Honey and they're doing like post production for Honey. Shows the videos to Dave Scott and Dave's like, "Yo, who's that?" I said, "That's my boy flipz from New York. We just did the movie Honey." He said, "I need him. I need him in my movie." It's exactly what he said. We need him in our movie. And then he shows Omarion because Omarion likes to flip. He showed the B2K boy like, "Yo, he's hard. He's crazy. That dude's dope. How old is he?" For Honey, I think I was 19 at the time, 19, 20.
Wow.
And yeah, you don't realize that after Honey, 2 years go by and then You Got Served. But I felt the same age, but still. Um, Nicole calls me. We had cell phones at the time. Thank God we could afford cell phones because we were doing movies and stuff. She hits me up, she's like, "Hey, it's Nicole. What are you doing this summer or like around August?" And I'm like,
Hmm.
"I don't know why. Like, I don't know where my next gig is. I don't know. I didn't have an agent, didn't have a manager." And she's like, I think I might have got you in another movie." And I'm like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, my boy Dave Scott." I go, "I know Dave Scott. I knew who he was. You know what I mean? I know who Dave Scott is." She's like, "Yeah, it's a movie with B2K." I was like, "No way. Are you serious?" She's like, "Yeah." So hear this. Little Romeo was in Honey. Little Romeo wants us in all the dancers from that alley scene in his music video Play Like Us with Master P, or produced by Master P, but he's also in it. We fly from New York. The New York heads fly. We meet up with Nicole. We go straight to set. We film a Little Romeo, and I get to meet Dave Scott like in person because I'm already in LA doing a video for Romeo.
Right.
So one thing leads to another, and he's like, "Yo, what you doing? From this month to this month." And I'm like, "Nicole asked me, are you doing a movie?" And he said, "She told you?" And I was like, "Was I not supposed to say anything?" Like, did she sign an NDA? Oh no. It's like, "How much did she tell you?" I was like, "Yeah, it's like a dance movie with B2K." She's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I want you to be in the B2K group." I was like, "No way." And I would have loved to have been in the B2K band already as it is, because I was a fan. So when he said that, man, I was like, "Yo, say less." Even back then, I was like, "Yo, tell me when I need to be here." Boom, boom, boom. And then I thought it was gonna be out of my own dime, kind of like
Right.
to fly out and they'll pay me to do the thing. Dude, during Honey, I became SAG-AFTRA, and they like paid for my flight, they paid for hotel, they rented me a car, I got per diem to eat food. It was like next level treatment from being, just kind of on your own than to be in the union. And Dave Scott was like, "Make sure you keep all your receipts so they can, reimburse you and all that stuff." So
Yeah.
Dave Scott took real good care of me, but it was because of Nicole Neal from Honey that she told him and showed him footage of me, that it was like I got directly booked for the movie You Got Served. I didn't audition or anything. When I flew out, I
Wow.
remember Christy and Country were helping Shane Sparks and Dave Scott hold the last day of auditions. But I was already there to do the music video with Little Romeo. So I was just kicking it. I was like, "Oh my God, all these people are going to be in the movie." And they're like, not everybody, but a lot of, they're like 75 dancers out of like 500 that audition, or maybe like 1,000 people. So I was, dude, when you call it like luck, like the stars aligned for me from Honey to You Got Served to Nicole Neal to Dave Scott to Christy. It was like next. And then I went on tour with B2K. Omarion was like, "Yo, what you doing after this?" It's like the gig never ended. It's like, "Oh my God, are
Wow.
we on to the next?" we did American Music Awards. We did the BET Awards, and because we were such a tight knit camp, we were rehearsing for multiple projects at the same time. But thanks to Dave Scott, I was learning the choreography, so I could dance with B2K now instead of just being like a b-boy on the side, you know. And yeah, we ended up going on tour, Scream Tour 3,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, bro, and I did a commercial with Lil Bow Wow, who was on Scream Tour 3. I was just like, yo, this is endless. Like being in Hollywood at the right time with the right talent, you just continue to work. I did a video with Mario. I did a commercial with Bow Wow. I did what else from Scream Tour 3 did we do? It was like simultaneous jobs, like back to back. Oh, and then Nick Cannon. I did Feeling Freaky with Nick Cannon featuring
Wow.
R. Kelly. Yeah, all from being around that circle of talent for like 2 years. Yeah.
That that's okay. So the Scream 3 tour, the
Yeah.
Scream 3 tour wasn't B5 and Pretty Ricky a part of that tour as well?
I don't think so. No. No,
Okay,
no.
okay. I'm thinking
No.
about somebody because
No, Scream Tour 3 was Mario, Janae, Marcus Houston, and B2K.
okay,
And Bow
cool.
Wow. Yeah, Bow Wow. Yeah.
Are they cool to
And
work
Nick
with?
Cannon. Wait, Nick Cannon. Yeah, Nick Cannon too.
Are they cool to work with B2K? I'm so happy that they're getting back together and they seem to be
Yeah.
really level headed now.
Yeah, they're amazing. So, number one, they're talented. Number two, they stayed grounded, like through everything that's kind of happened and
Yeah,
unfolded since then, knowing that they were only like during you got served 16, 17 years old, they they've remained pretty level headed throughout, knowing, whatever facts or fiction has happened.
right.
It's been really cool, and they look very much the same. Like if you got us all in a room, we look like we never aged. I don't know. It's so weird
I tell you, is the
because
is
they're
the is
they're
the
parents
dancing.
now. They're like dads and stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what
It's
I mean.
crazy. Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like recently they had a interview, and you could just tell how mature they've gotten and more level headed because they tried to reunite some years ago and it didn't work out. But now it seems like they're ready to really do it. And I think a lot of that has to do with like the fact that they're all dads now, and so now they
Yeah.
have like this level of okay, let's do this. Let's make our fans happy, but at the same time, let's like show our kids that we can get along. And I think it's great,
Totally.
man.
Yeah. Kids will
Yeah,
humble you. I don't have kids, but I work with kids all the time and I teach children, obviously. So they bring something out of you where you can disconnect from your ego to be like, what do I want? What do I need? And while they're in front of you, you're like, make sure they're good. What do y'all want? What do you need? You tend to be able to kind of, detach a bit from the ego because Hollywood, you kind of have to have an ego in order to shine a certain way. Your ego has to like turn on. Like
mm,
if you don't think you have one, you do have one when you turn on. You have like this ego, this other self that turns on, or that to become a dancer, or there's this other side to you that you wish to expose to the world. So I think when B2K started having kids, they were able to kind of like chill out from the spotlight and be dads and be uncles and be, best friends and whatnot and godfathers and whatnot. So it's
yeah,
cool to see them now. When they get together, it is more about family. And then they remember how they were family as kids. Like
yeah,
they were teenagers, but they were before they were B2K and they were training together, right? They were like what, 12, 13, 14 years old. They were
oh yeah,
kids. And then they became B2K, but it took years to become B2K. You don't just become B2K, the year you sign, right?
right.
So it's really cool to see them going through their journey, and full circle would be what Omarion said in that video where he gave me a shout out. He said it's time for another dance movie, and why not? Like, who says we have to dance the way we used to? I mean, if people kind of realize we do age and we slow down a bit, it would still be cool to do like another You Got Served with the same cast, just like as more mature performers. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Now I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask you. I'm gonna ask you a question as a performer.
Yep.
As I'm assuming that you love movies too, right? Because you've been in a
Yeah,
few.
man, of course.
uh, do you think the way things are now, with like people are mostly on their phones, and it seems like people are becoming more, the algorithm has been tailor made for a lot of people. So like now it's like there's so much content out there, people aren't going to the movies anymore. Do you think that? And I think about when You Got Surf came out, and at the time I was working at a movie theater. We had to go. I had to go to another movie theater to see it because like it wouldn't play at both theaters. So I remember how I felt when I watched that movie. Do you ever think there'll
Yeah.
be a time where it'll get back to that moment of like excitement of getting back into the movie theaters?
Yeah, I could say this. When Tom Cruise came out with Maverick,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
that took, bro, Top Gun hasn't, like, that's like my era of film going, right? I'm in my late 40s, and for him to come out so many years later with the part two, you know what I mean? You're like,
yeah.
whoa. And it blew it like it did so well, and it was post COVID. So you start to think about, he defined all the odds of people being scared of going back to the movie theater, being scared of, too many people in like one building and blah blah blah, whatever. And he also took an old movie, dropped in some gems from the original, and made like a whole new flick, and it was super successful, like super successful. That's what I think. When you look at like a Target, like you want to do something like that, and or like this show that came back, oh my god, the karate one, Cobra
Oh,
Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, that comeback from that, of all those years of nothing happening, and you bring back Daniel's son. You know what I mean? Think about that. Think about how
Yeah,
old he is now, and he's having to play that nostalgic role. And it's this. It would be the same thing for B2K. It would be the same thing. Like, we're gonna take y'all back, way back 22, 23 years ago when we made this movie. But if we're all in the right mindset, and we get the right choreography, and we get the right songs, and there's a good thorough storyline with a silver lining, there's no way that people are not gonna nostalgically want to watch it, and then the new kids hear about it, and they're like, oh, it's not a 15-second TikTok video. No, it's like a 120-minute film. But the magic of a movie is that it's the adventure. It's not a TikTok thing where you just watch it like this, and you're satisfied with what you saw, because there are amazing dancers on social media.
yes,
But those amazing dancers are doing only that aspect of entertainment. They're dancing, they're performing. They don't have lines, they're not doing their own stunts. You know what I mean? Like, what we did for the film, it captivated audiences because we took the format of like a music video.
yes,
Chris Stokes and production, yeah, and they're like, we're gonna elongate a music video so that no one's going to want to leave, because they're going to miss the next dance sequence, which is another music video. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah,
And the songs went, back then, viral was like platinum, right? So Joe
yeah,
Budden's Pump It Up blew up. It blew up. And I'm almost wanting to know, if it was dropped in another movie and another dance film. Let's just say it was like Save the Last Dance, or like a Honey, or like another dance movie. Would it have done the same? And then you start to think, the sound, the sound of Joe Budden, the sound of the track, um, it it almost married the DNA of the script so well, and it was raw and it was real. You know what I mean? We dressed
yeah.
raw, we dressed real, we wore our own stuff. Wardrobe loved us. They were like, "What do you have? What did you bring? We got bandanas, we got all colored." You know what I mean? They, of course, wardrobe bought stuff like a just in case, but we bring you what we bring to the streets, like what we bring to the battle. I'm wearing it right now. So if I perform in this, just take the Levi's logo out, or cut out the tag in the back, and let's go, because this is the rawest, realest way you're gonna get it. When you people do TikTok stuff or Instagram stuff, if it's catered towards a brand, that might not actually be what you'd actually wear to the battle. You're doing it for a brand. So yeah, you're dancing for something, but keeping it hip hop and keeping it real. If you just show up and get down, that's as raw as it gets. So I think what happened with You Got Served was the realness and the rawness, not of the acting or some of the script per se, but because there's some things that happen that you're like it's led to believe it's something else, and you're just wondering because it's left for the viewer to interpret what they think that was going
Right.
on. But when you get to the dancing, dude, it's dance choreography and freestyle. When it was freestyle, it was hard to stop dancing. It was hard not for the other crew to want to send somebody out because you don't want to lose, but someone scripted to lose. It's scripted that B2K carries the film all the way till the end, and then they get back together and we win the money and all that stuff. But in real life, those crews and those battles, had they let us keep going and they filmed it, it would have a different outcome because then you would have something spark like the Red Bull Dancer style and the Red Bull BC ones. That's what happened from You Got Served. That's what happened. The explosion of America's best dance crew that came from You Got Served. That
Absolutely.
came from the explosion of creating a movie with $8 million and it does like 52 million at the box office. That's more
Oh
than
yeah.
viral. That's like a phenomenon.
Like there was such it was You Got Served became the catalyst for your Step Up movies, for America's Best Dance Crew, for all of the dance shows, and
Yeah.
and there was a huge gap in between before then. There was like Breaking to Electric Boogaloo. A whole two
Mhm.
decades later, You Got Served, and I
Right.
love Breaking to Electric Boogaloo,
Yeah, man.
especially the part where Turbo they're going against electro rock, and Turbo's like sitting at the trash can, and he's doing like this snake move or whatever. I'm telling you, man, the movie never gets old to me, man, ever.
I was like two gangs show up and they battle it out.
Yes,
Because
combat.
when they go under the bridge where the cars are and where the trash cans were, you're like, you wouldn't get caught dead in those places, but to be able to battle it out and the way that they were dressed, I'm like, dang, they're serious.
Heck yeah, and
They're serious.
Turbo was wearing a band uniform, man, so you could tell he
Hmm.
was inspired by Michael Jackson. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying for sure.
it's very very Michael, like the street version of Michael. Yes,
Definitely.
dancer version of MJ.
I
Sick.
I wanted to
Yeah.
talk about your legacy, man.
Okay.
You got a lot of like dancers out there who and you do a lot of things, and you do stunt work, and you do a lot of things. You stay busy. What is something you want to say to dancers or any entertainer for that matter, who want to do what you're doing? Any words of inspiration?
Yeah. So one of my mindsets is um, only those that see the invisible can do the impossible. So there's certain people that they follow trends or they follow what's hot right now. I'm the type of person that when something feels good, no matter who likes it, I go with that flow. I go with my flow. Some people say go with the flow. I go with my flow. I'll create the flow.
Yeah.
I create the momentum, and people start following me. My crew was like, "Yo, Flipz is killing it in Hollywood. Let's go to LA." Like they follow you. You're more like a Moses. You know the power that with great power comes great responsibility, so you don't abuse it. But you know that you have that light that people see. You walk in a room, you get directly booked, you have something special. So I tell people that if you want to do what I'm doing, see the invisible and do the impossible. Just in your mind, no matter how weird it might seem to you, if you
Yeah.
actually try it and succeed at it and you'll be the first, you will be the trendsetter. You will be the trailblazer. But it took you to see it and then to do it and to manifest it for them to even comprehend it. So the prayer flip and You Got Served is the same thing. Had I not tumbled against Dominique Moceanu back in the day, right? And
Right.
and and found a way to become my very own my very own like light in that scene, I would have been drowned out by all the talent around me. There was so much talent around me. But I'm like, I'm gonna own this moment. I'm gonna do something that's never been done before. And I don't know how many times I could do it, but hopefully they catch it on camera. And like you said, you saw me go from the lotus position to my elbow back handsprings, which is, you don't see gymnasts doing that till now. Now they'll do like knee back handsprings and elbow back handsprings now. I did that in 96. So I saw the invisible. I did it. My boy vouched for it. He's like, yo, you got to keep that. That shit was crazy, and that was nuts. So it took me to do that. It took me to do something unorthodox, next level, far left. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
whatever word out of the box. I don't care what word you people use. You have to do you, and that was me. Like I love to flip the script on anything. If somebody tells you spin this way, I'll spin the other way. Just because you told me that everybody does it this way, I'm gonna do it the other way. Sorry. That's just how I was born. That's how I'm wired. That's how my DNA runs in me. And it's also Caribbean blood. Like I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Taino. So I wanna hunt, I wanna seek, I wanna find different lands, I wanna find different adventures. That's just how I'm built. So when I exert my dance, I tell my fans, don't follow the crowd sometimes. Like there might
Yeah.
be a shortcut to the promised land if you hit left. Just go left. Get outside the box. Stop walking in circles. You know what I mean? And that's what I say to my people. I say, see the invisible, do the impossible. See it. Close your eyes and imagine, man. Close your eyes and imagine like what would be perfect for you, and that's different for me. I'll tell you
Definitely.
what's
Yeah.
perfect for me, right? And then for you, that might be so like, nah, married, have a house, do this, do that, got a business, and nah, I'm good, man, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then for you, that's perfect. That's one thing I do tell my fans too is you can't live my dream. I'm living my dream. You gotta live your dream. So what is that? A lot of dancers, they look at you like, oh, and then I'm like,
Right.
I'm just this normal guy. Like I did what I did. I still do what I do. But they have to realize we're mortal. We're mortal. So yeah, my body hurts now. Yeah, it hurts a bit to do the prayer flip. I do it slower than I used to. You know what I mean? Like I'm aging. I'm more like a Mr. Miyagi now than a Daniel-san. But I tell my fans that all the time. I'm like, you are the next flips. There's a kid out there that's probably, same age as me. When I started 14, 15 years old. And then when I did Honey and You Got Served, there's a 19 and a 22-year-old out there right now that's going to be the next flips. They don't have to look at me like I'm the only one. You know what I mean? If they have
Yeah.
that drive and that desire and that passion, um, you can't pay too much attention to other people because other people, especially in Hollywood, they dump their insecurities on you. They're like,
Mm.
you're too short for films. I've done 36 movies. How are you gonna tell me I'm too short to do a movie? I've done like 17 dance films. I've done stunts. I've done
Yeah.
choreography. I've produced. I've done so much, but they told me I was too short and I was too Latin. Yeah, but that was in 1999. We're in 2025. Latinx is like it's like the new hot, commodity,
Definitely.
like Latinx. They're like Latinx. But you think about that. Think about everything I had to pursue. And then when someone asks you from year to year, how did you do it? What would you tell someone? I'm like, yo, keep doing you because that very next trend, you could be the one starting it, including you with your interviews and everything you're doing, all your work. You're like, whatever your goal is, you're actually doing it. Like
Yeah.
you might not have reached the finish line because as creatives, as artists, our finish line is probably when we're gone. That's our real finish line, and we're already winning. Like if you could just keep going, you're already winning, and the people behind you are now trying to catch up. So you are the leader, you are the winner. It's just we as creatives want to keep climbing that mountain that seems like it never ends.
Yeah.
So I tell kids that too is remember if you're doing what you love, you're winning, right? So when a team is winning, like the Dodgers, right? Like the Blue Jays were winning, they had their
Mm.
hopes up, but then the Dodgers felt triumphant, and then they gained more and more and more, almost like positive energy, right? So you're winning. Whether you win the World Series or the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter. It's you carrying and uplifting that energy that continues to help you win. So whether you do one movie or you do 36, from the first movie to the last one that I just did was Freaky Tales with Pedro Pascal and Tom Hanks is in it.
Yeah.
I did that movie, and I felt just as magical. I did it with Morris. Maud and Chloe hired me, so I did it with B-Boy Morris and a couple others. But I was just as hyped. I was like 44 years old, bro, on set. Like, oh my God, my muscles hurt. Just as hyped as I was in Honey or in You Got Sir. I was just as thrilled to be on set. This huge production, like post COVID, when not a lot of people are working, when you're
Right.
on a massive, massive film set, millions and millions of dollars, and we shot where they did Star Wars, the green screen studio where they did Star Wars. That's where we shot. So my energy,
Cool.
bro, my energy was next level. So to the kids, to the future, to the next generation, there's a couple of things, and it's see the invisible, do the impossible. Be careful who you listen to. Um, doubt them before you doubt yourself. I will say that. Doubt someone who projects something on you. Doubt them before you doubt yourself. Because once you start self doubt, that's where your dreams, that's where your manifestation, your actual work will start gaining paralysis. You start slowing down. You get
Mm.
stagnant. You're not creative. It's because they've projected fear onto you. So you got to wear that shield. And some people, that's okay. We're different human beings. They didn't work for them. That's okay. I went to my a couple of friends of mine. I went to Hollywood. I gave it a go. I tried it. Da 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 da. Yada da da da. And it's like, yeah, but that wasn't your lane. That wasn't your road. Can't you see you were supposed to do this or that?
Yeah.
But it hurts and you don't see it at the time. So when you're young, you're susceptible to as you're looking for knowledge, depending on who's giving it to you, yeah, you could kind of fall into like a slump in a way
Oh,
if you have
definitely.
the
Yeah.
wrong mentors or whatever. So I always say that to my friends, man. Like, remember, you got to do you. You got to do you. It's your dream. It's your plans. So don't do what somebody else says unless that person is super successful at exactly what you want to do and they are helping you. They're lending a hand, they're giving you dropping gems, they're giving you numbers of people you need to be talking to. You know what I mean? If
Yeah. Yeah.
somebody's helping you, then yeah, you definitely take those gems and like cuz some people, some of us that have done it, we don't hesitate and we don't mind giving the gems to the right people because they will be abused. If you give out a number of someone, they could abuse it. If you give out the email to someone, that could help. They could abuse that. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful who you give your gems to because gems in Hollywood it's very they're very coveted. So sometimes I have knowledge that if the wrong person asks, I'm not supposed to give it to them. They might exploit it. They might get me in
Yeah.
trouble. Because I heard from Flips that this and this and this and this and that. So um, yeah, I just yeah, it's a good conversation because it can go a little bit deeper, but it just depends on what the angle is. But
Definitely, man. But I thank you so much for your time today. Are there
yeah,
any like social media platforms people could reach you at, or anything? I
yeah,
know you said you have Freaky Tales out, but also is there
yeah,
anything else people could be looking out for next year or anything?
yeah. I choreographed the Michael Jackson One show in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay, and
Oh,
we
the
just
Cirque du Soleil
celebrated.
thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I choreographed.
Nice.
I was part of the original creative team as well, under Jamie King. Jamie King hired me to do it. He's a really good friend of mine. He's a good mentor to have because he showed me the ropes and look where it got me, like choreographing for Cirque, which is amazing. So that we celebrated our 10-year anniversary. So the show's been running successfully, selling out for 10 years. So if anyone catches themselves in Las Vegas, they could say, "Yo, I know one of the choreographers, Flips."
Bet.
So there's
Nice.
that. There's Freaky Tales came out. And then I did a movie called Spirited with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, and they signed a deal with Apple. I want to say Apple and Netflix, or it's just
Mm,
Apple.
I think it's Apple
Um,
Plus.
Apple Plus. So
Hmm.
it airs every year for Christmas. It airs. So I'm in it, which is awesome. It's pretty cool. But that's a movie that will drop every year for Christmas, kind of like a Home Alone or like Elf, where every Christmas it drops. So
For
you could
sure.
catch me on that every year as it airs. Um, and then there's something coming up. I'm wondering if there's something coming up. I know the Olympics are coming up. I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly where I will fall, if I'll be hosting some stuff for the Olympics or if I will
Okay.
just be doing some branded content. But when breaking was in the Olympics, I got to host for Inside Dance Magazine and cover Paris, which was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
And your social media
Yep.
platforms?
Yeah. At Ivan Flips Velez, IvanFlipzVelez, on everything. That's TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram. What else is there?
Yeah,
uh,
the whole
what's the other
gambit.
one? What's the other one? It's
Oh, uh,
Threads. Is that Threads?
thread. Yes, threads.
Thread
Yes.
at Ivan Flips Velez. And then the company stuff, which is whenever I have production film or edit anything, that's under Flips ENT, which is Flips Entertainment, which is my company. I'm the CEO and president of Flips Entertainment. And yeah, we do lifestyle and branded content. So FLIPZENT. I cut it short instead of writing out the whole Flips Entertainment. But yeah, Facebook. I keep wanting to say Twitter, but X, and all the other ones. Yeah, TikTok and oh my goodness, all the social media platforms. Let's just say that.
Are you still going to do your cooking traveling show? I was listening to an interview that you were doing, and you said that that was going on. Is that still happening?
Yeah, so I did one for Olympic Channel, and it was for the Olympics on
Okay.
the Olympic Channel for the Olympics for breaking. I got to go to Seoul, South Korea, but what ended up happening was there was this really cool idea floating around by Whistle Sports that I do almost like an Anthony Bourdain type thing where I get to travel and like
Okay.
go try out different things wherever I'm at. So what I've been doing with my own company is filming myself in all those places, doing that way when a brand is ready to almost like they could either buy the concept or they can purchase the footage and just kind of slap their name on it. But
Okay.
that's kind of what's been happening lately is you kind of package a deal or you brand something and then it's easier to sell. So like I was saying, see the invisible, do the impossible. Don't even wait for a brand to reach out to you and say, hey, we want to do like a travel eating dance show with you. Just do it. Just do it yourself. And then
Right
now
on.
you have the power, you have the gems, you have the power to sell it because you already did the work. So I did some stuff for Red Bull as well. It was the same thing as they had a bunch of taco trucks and they had a jam, and I went to like every one. And here's the cool part too: when people want to partake in something, I started getting free stuff. And like everything turned out free. I was just gonna go from truck to truck trying different things.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you doing this for? Like a travel channel? And I was like, yeah, I'm like being an influencer, being a vlogger. And like little by little, they start bringing out ice cream, lobster tails. I got this
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, like a lobster roll when it's, in the sweet bun. You know what I'm talking about?
The Hawaiian sweet roll?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
like a
wow.
lobster bun sandwich. It was amazing. It was like $28 and I got it for free. You get like free stuff, free drinks, everything because they kind of notice you like, "Hey, I know you. You look familiar, blah blah blah." So then you start to do that and then it's weird how you attract exactly what you wanted. And people start coming up to you from their taco trucks and then you start talking to them. You're like, how long have you guys been here? Where do you come from? Like, oh, we drive all the way from it's Maine, lobster from Maine. So they drive all the way down with like the best lobsters.
Oh,
And they do
wow.
this thing, it's family owned. They're like multimillionaires now. And they basically this food truck became like their bank. It's insane. So that's the type of stuff I like because then I just had to go literally like 50 feet this way, and I was at the jam, and I was hosting anyway and judging. So it was like, this is incredible.
I love, there's nothing wrong with free stuff. I know Danny Trejo has a restaurant out there too on the West Coast, right?
Yes, yes. It's
Yeah.
popping too because of his name, obviously, but also because of the what they serve. It's been like, what's it, trending?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Cool.
It's
It
crazy.
it is crazy. It was such a pleasure talking to you, man. Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
And
you're welcome.
I gotta say, I like your nickname, Flips, but I love
Yep.
your first name, Ivan, because my mind goes right to Rocky Four. I will
Oh
break you.
yeah.
Yeah, Ivan
Yo.
Drago. But I posted, brother. Thank you for your time. It's been
Yeah,
a lot of fun
awesome,
talking
bro.
to you.
Let's go. We out
Yes,
here,
sir.
bro.